So the EPA has been contacted about this dumped septic tank about the windows, and they got a voicemail. We have so many laws broken by this landlord. We have so many human rights abuses, and mine go back 25 years. But my roommate is 84. He's had his rights violated since he moved in here. He had a lease when I moved up here. We had a gaping hole with water going in the wall, and he has done nothing, absolutely nothing about it, as his tenants continue to say they're getting sicker every year from this water that's allowed to run in the walls, that it's visible from the outside of the building. And you can even see the mold all near the windows where it's rotted out. It's tried to eat the siding. The mold has got so bad in the walls that now it's on the outside of the siding. So it's on the outside of the siding. It's in every wooden window. It's bit whole giant whole chunks out of the window. Starting to grow everywhere inside the apartment. Not only that, that septic tank that's dumped in the back goes to this building. So I'm pretty sure the landlord is just letting this building rot and putting the cost on the tenant. I mean, he didn't even want to put a light bulb in the hallway. We literally had to fall downstairs for years. I mean, I have a video of this I've posted. All this stuff has been video recorded. So, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to let somebody else just move in here and get sick? Some child again? Some 10-year-old has to live his life for the rest of his life with asthma and die a early death because a landlord doesn't want to spend money? Should old people fall down flights of stairs and have broken hips because the landlord doesn't want to put in a light bulb? Should the environment be destroyed because the landlord doesn't want to dispose of a septic tank properly? Should the new tenants down Havenhill, where they just built a brand new housing district, should those new houses have septic shit in their groundwater? Does this sound okay to anybody who's watching these videos? Not only that, do you think poisoning a child like me 25 years ago, do you think that's okay? Do you think giving extra medicines to a child is okay? Do you think denying services because somebody is disabled and has trouble writing, do you think that's okay? I'm pretty sure there's something called the Disability Act, which says that if I go down to some place like welfare or something like that and I'm disabled in a certain way, that they're not allowed to discriminate against my disability. I literally was thrown to. I tried to give a notarized letter to the landlord. He continued to hate on us, use hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. He tried to intimidate my roommate to give the money before the letter. And on top of this, when he walks away, he has the letter ready, turns around, grabs me, throws me to the ground, and kicks me in the ribs. All he has to do is either leave and go down the stairs or take the letter that's literally on camera that he can see. That's the only purpose of that letter, being exactly where he puts the letter. By the way, that's exactly the same spot in the door which he plays with. He brings the letter up and down. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why play with a letter in our door? It's intimidation. I mean, you can just the letter is in the door. He put his own eviction notice in the door, and it was clearly visible, but he could hear us talking. So you know what he did? He made it go down and up and down and up and down and up, trying to like intimidate us and remind us that there's an eviction notice there. Then my roommate is stupid enough to go over and grab it. I'm like, no, just let him leave the damn notice there. Don't go over and grab that with him on the other side of the door. He might kick the door and break you. He's already done so much fucking shit. Most of it is neglect of property, illegal dumping, holes, getting his tenants sick, health code violations. I mean, it's just bad. And me, I already had my body destroyed by my mother. She passed away in 2011, but my mother destroyed my body as my father covered it up and helped her. Now, I don't think my father was completely complicit in it, but now he is. He's completely complicit. He's definitely helping her hide it now. I think that when in childhood he had no idea how bad her decisions were, like giving extra medications to your child and admitting it. Or your child's having an overdose. She calls a doctor. They tell her to call an ambulance, and she hangs up on them and tells her husband, "Oh no, they don't know what they're talking about. Leave them to die on the newspapers." Or after your child is getting reports from the doctors and schools that there's something seriously wrong with his body, something changed. He needs speech therapy all of a sudden, physical therapy. The teacher brought me out. He said, "Something seems different. Are you having problems with your body?" Or, I mean, she pulled me out of the classroom at age like 7 or so, and then said she was calling home to let my parents know, and brought me back in the class. There are reports, and what does my mother and father decide is a good idea? Ballet and move me to Texas, then move me to New Mexico, then move me to Maine, then move me to That's a weird decision when your child just experienced an overdose, a whole bottle of Epicac, and the doctors are saying something's wrong. That's a very weird decision. Ballet and move him. Huh. And my mother made these decisions. My father wanted to stay. That's how I know he had nothing to do with it other than neglect. He just let his wife go nuts. And this happened a lot. Even as she was dying, my father still let her kill herself. She had 20% of her liver working. She came home to see the family, is what she told the doctors. She told the doctors she wanted to come home to see the family. But when she came home, she blows past me, goes straight to the liquor cabinet, sits on the couch and starts drinking booze without saying a word to me. Maybe hi. I had to go chase my father down in the kitchen and tell him to handle this shit. So you obviously can see that he doesn't have the strength to control or tell his wives no. I mean, he could have just broken and dumped the bottles. She can't drive in that condition. Nobody's going to buy her alcohol with her liver failing. All you had to do was get the liquor out of there. But this is a problem that he has. Everybody like me, like my problem is addiction, and I'm working on that for life. I have a problem with my nervous system thanks to my mother and father. I have a problem with numbness. I dropped phones, coffee mugs for my whole life. Things always dropped out of my hands ever since the overdose. I can't feel right. I can't feel my hands, legs, or body right. So think about that for a second. Think about all these systematic failures, and then think, is this okay? What are we going to do about it? Are we just going to let people die and suffer? Are we going to let more orphans get drugged? Are we going to allow people to dump their septic tanks right into the woods? Are we going to allow many children and elderly people to get sick from mold and die? We're not the first ones. This has been going on for at least 10 years before we moved in. When we came in, there was mushrooms coming in the floor, which my aunt has a picture, which he did not save for me. She said she would save these pictures for me, but she did not. I should have known better. I mean, that's usually what they do. They tell me one thing and do another. That's just how they are. They say one thing, do another. Yeah, we'll hold them. Then they don't. Yeah, we'll help you. No, they don't. Yeah, we'll work. No, no. They can't even keep a promise to love their family. So, or I should say care for their family or care for the well-being of the people around them. So I'm not that I should have known better. So I don't have the mushroom picture anymore, and I don't have the Frankenstein injury where my face is all swollen. I don't have those anymore. But I do have a whole giant 109 file, a hard copy, phone copy, all of it. There's lights out, waterfalls, giant holes. You want to? We'll give another giant hole. So the water. Oh, the water comes in straight down. Now this foam was added because the landlord told me to handle it myself. I tried to get the maintenance to do it. Now the water went straight down into the wall. As you can see, it's cracked. There's mold all the way through. So that foam was added by me to keep the water down. But you can see that it goes way past the storm window. It's closed. And there's a heater right there. So if you let the water go down that wall in the inside and right through that, right behind that heater, what do you think would happen? I mean, it was doing that before we moved in. We made it slow down with that foam. So before the foam was added, there was buckets and gallons coming in every single time it rained. behind a heater and in a wall. What do you think is happening back there, huh?